factors involved in their drafting.
I mean, Poppy just answers so many good things at the moment. Like, even when you look at your bottom laners, like the Leonas, the Rells, the Alistars, then you even look at Mbessa and those kind of things on the top side. It makes it difficult to play the game. So I have to see what the plan is going to be. But at the moment, Kalista, I imagine we're going to see Gwen bans actually already coming through on the G2 side. And do we get things like the Skarner continue to get taken away?
Well, that's the biggest question, isn't it? Already those presences are keeping nice and fruity as Azir also. Straight into the bowl, isn't it? Like a gift basket you didn't ask for. But Azir is kind of like the pineapple on top. You think that's good value that that's taken off the board. We don't have to watch Azir. Jace also a priority pick as Dagda, what do you see open? Your Skarner you mentioned at the start, Maokai as well.
Yeah, Skarner and Maokai. So Maokai going to be taken. So is the trade just going to be the Skarner immediately for SkewMond? I mean, just said it. Last time around, BB was having a great old time on the show guide against Heretics. So I think a little bit of a shout out to ye time of old coming through here.
Hey, the other thing about G2 that's funny is, like, I don't think they need Skarner. They get Varus here. G2 are the team that can always play around a pick. They've always got an option, right? We know that SkewMond, he'll probably play things like the Ivan as well. That's also an option running into things like Skarner.
Yeah, and I think the only thing though is you more than likely want to go towards something like an Ezreal here for Flakked, just to be like, hey, we've got nice priority in that bot side, we can kind of answer, unless you want to go for an Ashe. But if that's going to be the case, Ivern and Ezreal don't get that kind of synergistic value. So looks like instead they're going to go towards the Zyra. Very fast clear, but I was about to say, last time SkewMond answered with that Mundo, and I think Sheo already called it out, that that might be the answer once more.
So let's see where they go instead. Again, options for the AD carry. You already mentioned the Ezreal was a big pickup here as well. Maybe the support Rell, that's still a priority support in the league too. Questions for Team Heretics as Carlsen. He can be a role player, he can be a carry. We've already seen that great Camille game. Instead, we go back to the question of AD carry. That's now answered.
Okay, so going to be Corki. I imagine that he's going down towards Flakked in the bot lane. Could be flexed to mid, just with the fact that you have that Zyra. You kind of want that AD mid, so could also just be a case of we're going to take Corki here. We take Ezreal on the next rotation, try and secure these kind of AD-focused champions. The upside, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Mundo. You've already got the Varus there. Could go on hit into this sort of composition, at least that's coming forward. So in that position, cool, just get a beefy frontliner.
Bro, it's so funny because, like, people with no contacts at the LEC or G2 would be like, you know, this Analyst is saying Mundo and the second pick blue side, like, he's cooked.
It makes a lot of sense though. Like, you're able to clear very, very quickly, kind of keep pace with the Zyra. The fact that you ignore her lockdown removes so much of the threat of Zyra in the game. It's just a really smart pick that's kind of come up in answer to Zyra, who's been queen of the patch for quite a while now when it comes towards AP jungle champions.
So annoying. Mundo will keep on running as Gnar's also locked in as a blind option here for G2. Broken Blade's going to be running this a second time here. It is funny that SkewMond's running Mundo jungle a second time before the Maokai, before the Sin's out. Just a bit of flex for you as a Dagda final pick.
I think you just take your AD carry here, unless, there's the Ezreal,
Good call.
Unless the other option is, what does Carlsen want to try and pay into the Gnar? Because we've seen a plethora of Yasuos start to come out as answers into that Gnar on the top side. Jace is already taken away too, so I think you're kind of fishing now for a potential Yasuo ban, maybe an Mbessa ban as well, just to try and get comfort for Broken Blade in that top side and make sure he's actually able to abuse that range matchup.
As you know, Broken Blade, again, you want him to have a comfortable lane. Victor taken away is another lane, I guess, for the Corki that just doesn't want to happen. Caps has been great on Victor, but what else has he played? Well, Ahri's been the other thing. The Yone already banned away. Was the other pickup in that best of 3 versus Koi.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to scratch my head here. I think you do just ban away top laners here.
Okay.
I think Caps has enough in the tank. Yeah, there it is. The Mbess is going to be taken away. Yeah, I think you just ban the top laners because Caps has enough where you can still answer for Corki mid, and you should be completely fine.
So then, if we're talking about top laners, let me just pose a couple. Carlsen already on the Jax into the Gnar has been an option before. He's played Camille as well. But the problem is, I feel like Camille comps, things like Sejuani, junglers that can help set up. Zyra's not too far off the chain. What do you think?
Yeah, I think if you're playing Camille, you want some sort of backline dive, and you just don't really have it with Heretics.
Yeah.
With the way their position's kind of working at the moment, it's kind of like play into them. So even if, like, maybe you want to go for Yasuo for side lane plays and hope that you can get some sort of knock up on an Alistar in the bot lane, or you can get those Strangle Thorns to enable that. But outside of that, yeah, I think you're struggling a little bit here for top laners for Carlsen, unless he just settles that he's going to have a bad time and just go for a tank.
Is it going to be something like a Cassante matchup into the Gnar? Oy, oy, oy. We saw an Ornn before, also an option. Things like Renekton, Dagda. I mean, you were talking about it, and I had to bring it up because, again, Carl, quote-unquote, bloody Carlsen, was really so instrumental in that game last split. It was exciting, but he's going to have to pull it off again as he runs the Camille back.
I think the problem here is, though, like, Mundo stands in front of your hook shot, he blocks it, and there's nothing that you can really do, right? You're going to have probably, so you could even go for, honest, maybe not actually, I was going to say a Braum here for Labrov, but I don't think you do in this scenario, but still, you have CC from a Leona, or you even go with the Alistar yourself here to set yourself fine, or even a Rakan, to be perfectly honest. Yeah, there you go. And you've got answers to keep Camille off you, and I just don't see the added pressure on that backline. You have a true shot barrage, but what are you gonna, like, you're now just picking a support. There's not enough threat to synergize with this Camille as a backline dive that I think you can manage.
Ooh, as Caps locks in the Akali. Now, we have seen a few Akalis not only today, but over the course of the week and over the course of last split as well. I have to say, I think Caps is the best in the league at it. And you can say that about a lot of champions. It's disingenuous, right?
Yeah. You know, it's crazy. The best player in the league is really good at some of these champions. Yeah. But no, I do. I think he has been great, but I think it's also the playstyle that it offers is, hey, early on in their games, G2 traditionally like to stick Caps on the sideline and just say, hey, farm it up, become a threat. Akali does great in those sideline scenarios, especially if you're able to chase down by landing that shuriken and flip on towards the Corki. I think you're in a wonderful spot. So it does give G2 a lot of options on these sidelines, while also giving you a chance even to move Broken Blade into this kind of 1-4 split push as well, with Caps being that person up by themselves. So you got threats here at G2. I think that this game gets very difficult for Heretics, though, if they start to fall behind. They're kind of playing off this 2-item spike with the triple Triforce, to be perfectly honest, but Camille kind of lagging behind a bit. But yeah, I think Heretics need to come out swinging if they hope to take this game over.
I mean, you look at that and you can agree, right? When you're versing something like a Mundo, especially as well, if you lack damage, if you fall behind, the Mundo gets the free scale and becomes unkillable. I think we could have said that about SkewMond in the game we saw only last week. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your second week of the LEC. It's nice to have BO3. I'll drink to that. Good on you, mate. I feel like, honestly, like, Fearless coming back, also Euphoria, right? Euphoria. Then we had best of threes. That's where we are right now. And you're here continuing that euphoric reaction. And now you're looking at G2 to see if they sublime this split or if they're going to have a rough start. I mean, I don't know after the last series. I feel like, you know, the last series felt a lot like a draft gap. It was in the game 2.
Yeah, game 2 was a bit fun.
It was a bit clumsy, a bit messy, but again, that's what people say when set in a game. Yeah, Dagda, welcome back to the game.
I think the cool thing about G2, though, is like watching that series, I was really impressed with how good they were at understanding like when they could take 4 versus 5 based on ults being down. I think they're like one of the teams that thinks the most about ult usage and how you can use that to your advantage in the league. So we'll have to see if that is going to continue going into this game against Heretics. But this is oh, it's actually poke Varus. So I thought it was going to be an on-hit Varus.
So did I.
So definitely the consistent DPS isn't there. So G2 kind of need to make this early poke work to set up for Broken Blade and Carlsen to kind of finish people off as they enter into these fights.
Well, again, as we shift gears and kind of look at the other side of the map, I want to quickly mention that Carlsen again on this Camille. Oh, it excites me. It really does. Coming into today, I mean, I just like that, again, his name's Carlsen. If you haven't heard already, then you haven't been watching the LEC. Great name, and sometimes a great game as well. Are you as excited about Carlsen as I am, Dagda, or is that just
I still remember the first day that you found out that he's going to be in the league and you were like, excuse me, can you say his name again? But no, I think he has... His laning phase at times can be a bit wobbly, and that will take time to grow into, but I think he's definitely got like the killer instinct when it comes to some of these team fights. He's been great at like understanding the moment he can go in, when he can take over a fight, and actually change the entire outcourse of a game.
And you're about to learn that in his career, Carlsen is 14-4 on Camille.
Damn.
So,
okay.
14-4, and ladies and gentlemen, remember, he had that big game where I believe that was a win as well. Cleanse used in bot side while I'm yapping away, and Flakked had an ignite on him, so summoner for summoner as Labrov goes for the all-in. It's important to note. I mean, this 2v2 is going to keep playing out. Flakked's in a lot of trouble. Flash away. Is it going to be matched? No. Held on to. No summoners for that Ezreal.
That's huge for G2, though. And it's kind of, I think it was the Varus and the Rell combo again against Mobstar Koi, where G2 were able to get the duo kill onto Alvaro on the Alistar. So definitely give us a few flashbacks. But this is a very potent lane. Labrov has been the talk of the town on this Rell.
Oh, yeah.
It's definitely his most comfortable champion by a country mile.
And I was going to ask you, Dagda, you know what? Drake's really worth it, right? Because for Heretics, they seem to think so. But in this opening game, let's not forget, Ezreal, Alistar, not the lane you write home about, especially when you're versing the Varus, the Rell as well. Yeah,
I think we've heard like Finn talk about it on the desk, we've heard Jack talk about it in cast as well. I think Drakes are just becoming so valuable at the moment because you're able to set up very well for your team fights later and your objectives and all that. But without having Baron available until 25 minutes, oftentimes you can set up for a Dragon Soul about 23 minutes into the game and not have to worry about it. Sheo, though, is here.
The all-in is there, by the way, ladies and gentlemen. As Cat flashes away, I think I broke the screen for you. In the meantime, Cat flashes over the wall. He escapes for now. SkewMond tried to help out. It's a phone to the face as Labrov is still going to get rooted up. Great little grasp and a first blood to boot for Team Heretics.
That was a bit of a disaster there for G2. Good job by Sheo, though. Ends up sneaking back in behind his mid laner to make sure he's there for the support. And this is something that G2 have been doing a lot, kind of at these early levels. Even game 1 against Movistar Koi, they ganked Jojo in the mid lane level 1 to make sure he was uncomfortable. Now we're seeing this early play again towards mid. It has definitely been a step up by G2 in trying to get aggressive around this mid lane. And Heretics read it super well. Caps takes a ton of damage. The electrocute proc, Labrov isn't really in a position to try and do anything. And yes, Caps managed to flash away, but Labrov, he's got nowhere to go at this stage, and Heretics have too many members here.
SkewMond does what he can to slow it down, but it's still a first blood and over to the Zyra. So Sheo with the lead is always good news when it's the sole AP source on Team Heretics. Much like any Zyra jungle loves in this day and age. You have to itemize against me or the rest of my team.
But also it's just the fact that Heretics need, as we say, to get off to a good start. If you can't just execute Hansam on the backline as Carlsen or any sort of follow-up, you're just going to have a bad time.
Yeah.
So for Heretics, this is crucial to get these early leads and try and continue to play through that. Even the fact you get to shut down at least the threat of Caps in that mid lane as well, always a nice one. Didn't end up dying, and is actually even on CS, so haven't sent him behind that too far, but still something that I think Heretics are going to try and revisit.
Yeah, see if that punish comes through, because again, keeping Caps behind always feels nice. Sure, it can flip, but a Valkyrie away from Kamiloo under turret, as that threat rises ever so great. Dark still picked up on the return with boots, by the way, so again, all good mid-mage players know that this is the chat item. As we're just looking at Carlsen, except a top wave push.
I think it's also super important in things like the Akali and even Silas and that, because your kit is so reliant on you snowballing and getting the lead. Like, the difference between an Akali who gets like a kill in River at like 7 or 8 minutes versus an Akali who gets her first kill at 23 minutes is night and day. So I do think this is where G2 will understand they want to look for skirmishes, and a lot of that will be on Labrov to try and set that up.
Most insulting thing, because I know Vedius plays Akali, and then I thought Knight's Akali's really good. It's like night and day. So,
no, Betty doesn't get kills.
That's right, that's why he's the day version. It's a contrast that Betty's at the bottom. Oh my god. Let's take that. He's not even here to defend.
I was going to say, I'm glad we let him leave before we start insulting him.
Well, now that you have that metric, in this early game, outside of that trade through bot, outside of that kill through mid, it's just been about these elongated laning phases that Broken Blade is willing to stay in consistently. He's about to pick up plate top. All he has to do is just ram his head in and does so. Carlsen, as you saw before, got spaced a little bit. There's a bit of a CS lead brewing from that range versus melee matchup.
I do want you to keep your eyes, though, every time we're getting kind of this push in mid, how many members of G2 are making their way into this bottom side. Obviously, Dragon's up and looks like Sheo's going to take it now, but it is kind of a, hey, we want to shift Caps into positions where we can try and find these plays and get this Akali snowballing. So at the moment, G2 moved 4 members into River, couldn't quite find anyone in Heretics, so it looks like instead, as Caps has gone for the reset, they're just going to look for a trade on opposite side of the maps and cross map. But Labrov caught a little bit.
Yeah, Stend also does good damage. Trample sets up for Sheo, but nothing more apart from setting up plans for the Dragon. SkewMond is going to be done with this pretty soon. The beauty of Mundo as well is that blunt force trauma makes it so easy as grubs go down. Dragon a little bit delayed. Health bars are decaying, but Dragon all the same. I
spoke from Hansama, though, playing well around the long timer that you have on that headbutt pulverize combo on the Alistar in the early stages to get some decent poke off. Is a little low on mana, but should be able to just clear it this wave as Labrov comes in and they get his back. So just making things a little bit unsteady for Heretics as they went first, but yeah, nice at the moment anyway.
I have to say, while business being conducted in top is nice for G2 side. Just watching this Zyra power clear. SkewMond's waiting. Really good timer on the Raptors here. If I didn't have ADHD, Dagda, I'd be able to tell you more in depth, but Meanwhile, Broken Blade just smashing turret. Double plate for him.
Yeah, and I think this is where that move in to take Raptors was nice. You cover top lane play, you can now shift in towards that bottom side and get all your own camps. Or sorry, cover your top side, then shift into bot side to cover all your own. And there's very little this Zyra can really do. And this was the power of the Mundo, right? It's, hey, you've got a very fast clear. It's really difficult for Zyra to actually look for these invades because she can't lock you down and look for the kill threat. And it just makes things a little bit easier in that jungle role is, ooh, swing and a miss on the True Shot Barrage.
And a lovely word, tempo, not going to be used then at the very least. Oh, I can't wait for this. Okay, give me another fight. That's all I want. Antsy today. A little bit antsy today, you know?
I just thought you were like coming into your own as an analyst, and I was like, oh my god, my boy's excited about tempo. Tempo.
And then I use the word, and I'm like,
no, fine, no. I've known you for several years. I should know better. Okay.
From Carlsen. Hextech ultimate. Broken Blade's in a lot of trouble. He's about to go into the Mega Gnar, though, and he wants to find Carlsen with his own flash up and available. Broken Blade thinks, how do I pull it off? Especially with SkewMond with an infected bones all sets it up. The wild growth is out, and Rather sets up for infected chains. That from Sheo, and another kill going over to Team Heretics. Hookshot, walkshot yet again slows down his SkewMond. He has to pull out the maximum dosage, but how much can he drink? Onto Carlsen, the ignites down, and wait for the cleaver, wait for the auto, wait for the agony that's going to start burning. SkewMond back into place, and a kill for him too as G2 fights back.
Great roam from Labrov, but it might have to QRize the bot side because Stend looks like he's thinking of setting up for the dive, but the wave immediately cleared out by Hansama, and now with those chains of corruption, I don't think Heretics can really look for a play. Just a really good timing roam from Labrov.
Oh, stock market's crashed.
Yeah, everything's gone. But still, I think this was sick because one of the things that I was kind of looking at for Labrov is how he interacts on the map.
Yeah.
I think he's been doing a good job of playing around mid, but I think at times he could be doing more to help out BB. And this was just a great example of where he's actually been finding these timers to get in, interrupt the lanes, make sure people can't replay. And both the Mundo and Rell being able to take down that onslaught from Heretics looks really good for G2.
I mean, a kill for Mundo, a kill for the Zyra. Both these junglers scaling now. Ladies and gentlemen, don't know what the pause is, but for now, just sit and breathe. Smell that? It smells like game one.
What does game one smell
popcorn,
like?
I don't know. That's what I had before coming in. Yeah, so I'm breathing that in.
For people at home, every single day we come in, we get changed into our clothes, we then go to makeup.
Because we don't come with clothes on.
Yeah, exactly.
Context,
yeah.
Yep.
And then immediately Hysterics goes and gets popcorn. Like,
I like popcorn.
I was going to say, you've also kind of set up this like rating system for your popcorn over the course of the time as well.
Yeah. It's got to be hot, you know, it's got to be warm. The warmer it is, obviously, the better it is. You know, shout out to my new friend at the confectionery. I need to find out his name, obviously. Because
I was impressed he called you a regular. He was like, I was like, oh no.
The usual, yeah, the usual. Just gonna call him Dave. No, I'll learn his name. Usual Dave.
Did you practice your Matthew McConaughey voice with him before you came on, or how
No. No, he doesn't know about that. We're not that close yet.
Ah, okay, yeah.
Now, peripheral issues are a pain. However, it's good that it's not a bug. So we look up and we think, man, life's getting better, isn't it? See?
I was looking at the stage to try and see if I could spot who's having the issues, but I don't think I really can.
No. Everyone's still there as well, so it's definitely not a toilet break. And he's like under the cover of peripheral issues, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, no. Well, I can see them at least both saying ready at the moment, so it looks like we'll be getting back into game soon. But the early plays, at least for Heretics, did some good. But now that G2 have started to get out onto the map, it's a little unfortunate to turn around some of these plays because they got a nice kill onto Broken Blade there. But shutting down Carlsen means that now you're getting Broken Blade back in a position where you can try and get that CS lead, which he's already extended to a certain extent, and just continue to put the pressure on. So I think Heretics kind of need to go back to the drawing board on getting Stend active in these plays as well. It was something that they did pretty well against Rogue in game number 2. We'll have to see if they can do it now as we get back into game.
Yeah, hell yeah. No mucking about for us. Caps has Grizzly Memento. I'm pretty sure that's the call of it. He spots out wards. And if you haven't played the new patch, you're a little bit late. It is April. But spotting out the ward there. So Caps knows, again, bottom side's warded here for the Mundo, depending on angle. What else needs to be focused on here? After that last play, a bit of recounting for you all. G2 holding about a 1,500 gold lead. 3 grubs also taken at the cost of a Drake earlier on. And of course, Sheo getting a bit of kill credit with Carlsen up in that previous play too. But the Mundo now has hard still, so SkewMond in a pretty good spot. All he needs to do is start whomping.
I'm curious to see how G2 are going to respond to this. Heretics have already swapped Flakked up towards the top side. It's 45 seconds until the grubs are there, and it looks like they're going to start the slow march upon Sama towards that top half of the map as well. I wasn't sure if they were like, hey, we're happy to just trade 3 for 3, and we'll actually look for a play onto Carlsen again on that bottom side, try and shut down this Camille even further, but it looks like they want to try and take a fight as they start to come into this and use that poke from Hans Sama to get things started.
Just realized SkewMond on the skin as well. It kind of looks like a suit that Lionel Richie wore on his album, like 80s and 90s. If anyone doesn't know, the guy that's saying hello. Is it me you're looking for? You know, you guys, you know. Some people wouldn't, you'd be surprised, but it's a similar kind of suit. SkewMond does look dapper because if he finds a bit of an engagement, as you saw Sheo moving into enemy jungle, he can again get those stacks up as we have a mismatched lane looking towards top. Mid is matching top bot, and bot is now top with other bot. You get that, Dagda, as Grub start off?
I'm on top of it, don't worry.
You are on top.
Start to move into this. I think Heretics pushing that top side. Going to help, but yeah, G2 just bullying them off him at this stage. I wasn't sure how heavily Heretics wanted to try and commit to this, but they need to move Flakked down if they want to. Also, Kamiloo a long way from home and trying to be able to help out, so I think they're in a bit of a detached spot. Labrov on the flank.
Yeah, because Dagda, the bone saws really hurt. Stend might have to pull the ulti off, and waiting for him is Labrov. Stands up with a shattering strike. Broken Blade zoning off, and Stend is just dead. Free heart steal and a free kill. 5 grubs for G2, and now a 2k gold lead.
Yeah, Heretics just didn't have their ducks in a line, and Kamiloo, the Corki might fall as well.
Well, look, ducks, dogs right now, I think all animals are going to the wayside. Caps gets the flash out of him, and it does feel like hell at the moment here for Team Heretics, losing out in the early game.
The dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dog had to get out of there for Kamiloo as he... But I think the real issue was Kamiloo didn't have control over the mid wave, and then they just spent so much time kind of fumbling around, waiting to see what they wanted to do. Labrov got that great flank off, and it just set up wonderfully then for G2. So I think Heretics kind of playing a little bit too quick, and if they just kind of wait that moment, check each of the lanes, say, hey, are we in a position to go for this? They're going to be in a significantly better spot. And unfortunately now G2, 5 Void Grubs for themselves, with the opportunity to try and play on side lanes with Broken Blade and Caps. Heretics need to find some way to shut this down.
Well, Carlsen, as he tries to neglect Broken Blade from the turret, I mean, those side lanes you mentioned are so far ahead. Well, this one, really only. 700 gold the lead as Labrov might find himself Kamiloo. Under turret, Magnustorm pulls him back and he's waiting for the crash down. Here's SkewMond yet again. I was going to say Broken Blade. That was the last time we saw the Mundo outside of this split as SkewMond, 3 kills. And this is what the fear we had, Dagda. Early game needed to go well for Team Heretics, otherwise G2, holy Mundo.
Yeah, Labrov and SkewMond are playing really well together. They are linked up, they're constantly playing, well, it's top side, now it's mid, it was around Void Grubs, and now it's the Dragon for G2 as well. This has been a wonderful start from the 2 new members of G2, setting up the veterans for success.
And with Dragon taken down as well, it's just more that they're taking. 3k, now the lead. I'm going to keep measuring every 1,000 gold that seems to be happening every other minute. Stend poked out and found out, sitting on top of a control ward as with that Dragon down as well, Dagda. I'm just going to count towards the Herald in 2 minutes 40 and watch and see how G2 set it up again.
Yeah, I think at this stage, G2, all they really want to do is get push mid and then start to slowly shift vision into that topside jungle. You can kind of see where SkewMond and Labrov are. It's about setting up for a potential dive onto whoever comes for it, and Heretics are trying to answer. Stend and Sheo moving up into this area to protect the tower, but I think it's going to fall before they can really get into position here. They're resetting with SkewMond. You got Demolish. It's kind of Heretics late to the party.
Yeah.
And now, honestly, I think you just reset and just do the same thing on the opposite side.
It's not just late to the party, it's also nothing else going in their favor, because you look at bot, it's still Caps pushing out. Mid's now going to push out as well, with Carlsen only having a teleport, but he's accepting top wave right now. G2 have full control, 70-80% of the map right now, feels like theirs.
Yeah, I think, though, they may not be able to... Oh, well, it looks like they're going to commit for the bot side play. Labrov didn't reset, stayed out on the map, so they're lacking some wards, which I think might be pretty crucial to try and go for this play. Camiloo has backed away, though, so it looks like Caps just off of G2 existing. Oh,
nice flash response, yeah, because he was on a wall, but Hans Sama turns it in his favor. Unbreakable will with SkewMond right behind him, and again, fresh meat. Hans Sama will take it gleefully as Kamiloo tries to poke back, but G2 again with a pick onto Stend. Means they're just opening up more.
Oh, it's a disaster. Like, even look at bot side. Oh, actually, never mind.
Oh, it happens to be Labrov's time to shine again. Caps just rolls in thanks to the Magnustorm, and Sheo in trouble. Another hard steal stack. jungle diff is what you'd say, but it doesn't tell the whole story. G2 are just running amok, the Devils.
Mundo diff. He goes where he pleases, what can I say? Immediately moving in towards this jungle. And now, though, Carlsen trying to get in towards mid, has flash available, but Hansam is so far away from any of these walls. He has to go back with his head held down.
It's a 1,500 gold lead between junglers, 1,200 between Broken Blade and Carlsen. And Caps now picking up a kill, just benefiting off the whole team's success. This turret, as he tries to deny the cannon minion and most of the wave, is going to be yet another turret for G2, 2-0 on that.
And this is the second wave that's gone into that tower. It's the second tower that's going to fall. And now you're taking over that entire jungle too. This is an absolute disaster. Because look, there's a wave that's hitting the tower as Caps comes across here. Labrov perfectly aligned to catch both of the cars on Heretics. And as they start to move forward, then SkewMond, again, the passive doing so much work, you just get to ignore all that CC and just chase down Sheo on the back line.
And before we went to that replay, you're talking about the wave denials, as G2 seem to do so well with it. I mean, you look here, and it's, what? I need to do math quickly. Come on, Jake, this is your moment. 35, right? At least. And there's a certain Swedish top lane who made that so important, as this guy who's suffering on CS is now getting solo killed by Broken Blade. Camiloo doesn't have a turret sitting there as well, and he has to run for his life. But there is another Yordle who's very, very hungry indeed. Easy solo kill for Broken Blade. And this is no longer even close.
Yeah, this has gone from bad to worse very, very quickly, and I don't think it gets any better. Again, like, no. You don't have the big threats, right? You've just got the Triforce completed on towards your carries, but they're already being shut down in side lanes. You're looking at 2 items already completed for this Mundo. Your Carlsen just isn't really that backline threat that he needs to be. And the front line is fantastic for G2.
Yeah.
So they kind of just get to do what they want right now.
We talked a lot in draft, maybe just front line, absorb the pressure for Carlsen would have been the answer, right? With double 80 carry, with the Zyra as well. Maybe given another engage piece. I like that they have the confidence to pull out something like the Camille, but as you said, the angles are so limited because of it, because this Camille needs more time, because Broken Blade has so much of it and so many more resources, makes it just so hard to look at this game with a fresh eye.
If you had gone for a buy, I would have been like, oh, sick, yeah, Camille buy, that sounds good, you got that backline combo.
True.
Fantastic. But it's the lack of backline threat with Carlsen that really makes it tough. Because you're basically saying, hey, Carlsen, can you, with a true shot barrage, completely solo a carry and escape? And that's just not really going to be the case. Especially when you've already got a good front line. You then have to invest flash to try and get into the back line. And, I mean, look, it's all going everywhere.
It's something we talked about a lot in winter if you weren't with us. Simple compositions just seem to be, this year at least, so much better. Now, I'm going to look at G2 and not be like, that's not mega simple. But at least you know direction, right? Like, you know what your front line is, you know what your engage tools are. Labrov, Broken Blade, like, and Dagda, seeing people like Caps and Hansam being also reliable damage dealers. For me, it makes G2 look very simple in this game. 7k gold lead, not to discount their early game play as Dragons in front of them, and Caps with TP makes it so that Team Heretics are not able to snag this away or get even close.
Yeah, the problem is you only have to commit SkewMond to the Dragon, so you can even see where Heretics are on the map. They're like, where is the rest of G2 going to focus? Because they could look for some sort of play on dive on bot lane. So Carlsen had to walk away. Even saw Sheo trying to help out in defending bot tier 2. But because they've lost control of jungle, maybe they transition to a mid tier 2. While all the wall caps is soloing topside. So it just makes it really difficult to keep threads on where everyone on G2 is going, because they just have so much gold in their back pocket to outnumber you. Or sorry, even if they are outnumbered, they can still kind of come out on top of this stage.
Well, it feels like a flash in the pan for Team Heretics is what we're going to ask for. At the very least, everyone buckle up. Why? Because Labrov's going in, and on the stand, it won't be too hard to see what else he can do. Shattering Strike up to CC, and the power of Rell once again compels you. Clean from Caps. Almost getting out, almost. No. He's shut down. It's a 1-for-1, which is good for Heretics. Definitely good with the way this game was going.
Okay, a little over greedy there from Rob. The Stend for Caps, you'll take any day of the week. Give a bit more gold over to your squad. It won't really, I feel like, shut down G2 too much, though, because... Oh, actually, maybe Broken Blade goes mini, but there's nobody here to help him.
Oi, minion wave gone. Hookshot, wall shot, Hextech ultimatum. Broken Blade could be in a lot of trouble. This is Carl's moment. He's found a pick onto Broken Blade, the flash match, but he's out of range. We'll get the shutdown, but SkewMond's here. This is a different problem. A much more different problem. Ends up being a trade shutdown. I mean, for Carl, that's all you can get.
Yeah, he gets the shutdown, but has to phone it in after that. Just wasn't able to make it away. It's a nice idea, though, but we're going to see Labrov, like, Kamiloo, great reaction, flashes away, means that Labrov doesn't get the CC. Stend then kind of uses Labrov as an out. But at this stage, you have well overcommitted. You've got the TP coming through. You can see you've got both SkewMond and Hansama trying to make it through the jungle to get here. Heretics just able to outnumber. And then Carlsen clears out the ward. But this is actually really nice. So waiting for Broken Blade to go into that mini there. I think if he waited a half second longer, would have actually gotten him in the mini form, gotten more damage off, and wouldn't have had to burn the flash and get away. But still managed to get the kill. It's just unfortunate SkewMond's still in the area, and this Mundo does so much damage with the E. It's insane.
Level 14 now, by the way, in line with Broken Blade. That's how far ahead he is. Herald's been dropped top in the bot in the replay, as you can see. And you know, Caps, he might be in a bit of trouble. But Ward says no. He's no longer in trouble. He's going to just ferry this Herald as close to the turret as he can do it.
And now he's in trouble.
Yeah, but does he care? He's going to get in the Herald, and he's going to escape. Oh, hell yeah. Deja vu, I've been in this place before. Higher on the streets. I don't know the rest. I know Deja Vu.
I was impressed you kept going because I stopped at Deja Vu.
Yeah. But you got to get the beat. The Euro beat is what it's all about. Now, Atacam was going down in that time. So GA's for everybody. That's nice.
Yeah, as if the game wasn't tough enough already for Heretics. And now G2 starting to push in on that top side. Vision is already relatively good for them. Stend trying to see what he can do.
Well, he's going to try, but that guy that's on the telephone, hello, it's the debt collector. And Stend just getting launched up, hard steel stack, and no, he's actually a car insurance salesman. Would you like to buy this $5,000 policy? Well, SkewMond, he can sell anything. He can sell a rat to a fish right now. As 2 items, he's unkillable. He's going to get passive healing uppiness, also known as health regen, as Caps. Just in a side lane, doing the same thing but by himself.
Yeah, SkewMond bought this Mundo at the dip, and he's been looking fantastic ever since. Oh, hang on, Labrov. No, he's going to end up backing away. But yeah, and now Caps on the side lane. Might have to outplay.
Okay, well, I mean, Carl is the one member who's kind of strong. Gets the GA out, and there you go. False death now gone. Also, Hansama steps up, and Sheo's going to live, so that's 200 more gold. Nice. That's great. Yeah. Let's see more.
Honestly, if Heretics, I'm kind of happy with that. Not a real value out of it. Obviously, G2 still were putting pressure down as they were doing this, but the tower doesn't fall on bot side. And now Caps has to play a little bit safer and not come by the dragon, so not the end of the world.
He's got 200 CS in jungle. He's out farming a Zyra. I guess that's when you have an early lead, so early into the game, that Zyra's like, Zyra's clear speed, even though it gets faster and faster, it's like, well,
yeah. Well, you've just got so much, like your E snaps all of the small chickens and stuff through, so you like clear super fast, your W does a ton of damage, your Q does percentage health damage, so you can actually like clear through the bigger camps relatively quick. Like, he actually is insanely fast at getting through these so you're saying free camps.
Climb right now is Mundo jungle, you think?
I think it has specific areas. Like into Zyra it is good, because even as you're saying, like if you run at Zyra throws down her E, and then you just continue to run at Zyra because your passive pops.
Oh, okay, well G2, they're going to pop something else, and I think that's Team Heretics' little heart in this game. SkewMond, he hasn't used the ulti. Where's the dosage at, little bro? Holds on to it. That fleet footwork mixed with the passive and just the natural healing he has is crazy. A Broken Blade sits, hits the turret, enjoys that. Now we're back up to 7,500.
Yeah, and Caps just threatening the entire time. Dragon's still there. G2 going to fall back towards it. They have some vision to spot out exactly how Heretics want to try and answer this, but I don't think Heretics really can. Brock could flash engage on this. Heretics need to be careful.
Flakked takes a huge amount of damage from Hansama. Not really a silent achiever, but all the same. 2-item lethality 80 carry. Kind of in the name right now. 3rd dragon picked up, and yeah, we're just waiting for this one for G2 to put the seal on the deal. Yeah. Because I got to be honest at this stage, I mean, Team Heretics have found a couple of picks, but there's always a trade on the other side of the map. There's always this long con where it's like a turret, or there's another pick, or they just take the whole enemy jungle on the responsive side. Yeah,
it's the only reason that this game is still going is because Baron hasn't spawned yet. It's about 2 and 30 seconds, and I think G2 can immediately do it. The only issue for G2 is the Baron take kind of sucks ass. They don't really get to do it particularly quick. You don't have the on-hit. Varus, like, Akali does nothing, so it's kind of BB's damage you're heavily reliant on, so maybe you end up taking enough damage, Heretics find a miracle fight, and that's kind of been the Heretics special, right? It feels like clutch team fighting is kind of where they found their success.
Yeah. I mean, I can agree with that. Hell, it was with the Camille game last split. I'm drawing blanks on who it was against. I just remember Carlsen's Camille. That's all that mattered. And for Team Heretics, you know, relying on some of these new carries, these new members, like Kamiloo, like Carlsen. It's crazy to see where we're at. We're talking about Sheo being this glue that holds it all together, like he kind of did with BDS. That's why I feel like they're now kind of lacking in developing their new self. Team Heretics need Sheo for the setup. You talked about that. Let's see how they find it with Baron now up, holding River themselves. They get the engaged. At least it's Stend who starts it off, but he's going to be hail of arrows, and he gets set up with an arrow into the face. He's dead. Hard Summer cares not about Unbreakable Will as Caps holds the rest of the forefront. Broken plate with no Mega Gnar, but no mega problems for G2. 4 versus 5. Baron looking good.
I think Heretics needed to wait for G2 to start Baron and take the damage, but now they're just in a position where I don't really know if they can recontest. 10 seconds until Stend really gets up, but you can see what I mean. This Baron does not go down quickly, so maybe Poke is the name of the game.
Well, if SkewMond's behind Baron, he has an MR debuff. So that's good here for Sheo if he finds an angle. But at 5k, G2 looking for the turn, even though they're low. There is a bit of healing coming through from the Ocean Dragons. Carlsen's found out. He wanted his flank, but he ain't going to get it. Pops the ulti, but Hans lives on.
Baron has reset though, so I think G2, funny enough, actually have to walk away, which may open up Heretics to make a push on mid. It's only Caps who's trying to clear this wave. It looks like Heretics aren't 100% certain, but yeah, this is kind of what I'm saying.
Caps, he's going in. Why not? Okay, let's blaze it. Pops the ulti out, and he wanted...
He's having a bit of fun with it.
He was.
But I think, like, if Heretics wait until G2 start Baron, you can see they actually might have a chance, but Kamiloo now going to die. Yeah.
Flash match, Broken Blade. Even with the Phosphorus Bomb, there's just not enough damage. He had Hysterics gauge on top of that, guys. Wasn't even close.
Yeah, it's getting a little unfortunate for Heretics. It was already a slim window that they had to come back, and I think that one is very quickly being shut, and the weird German free system of opening the window has now been closed.
Oh, you mean the weird, like, upside-down one?
Yeah, and then you pull it back.
Is that just in Germany? Is that a thing?
I don't know. It's definitely not in Ireland.
Oh, because I thought the window was broken when last year when I first moved here. I thought it was mega broken. I thought it was, bro, what is wrong with this window? And I realized everywhere does it.
Yeah.
I guess it's smart. I think I like it.
I really like it. Like, being able to open the window a little bit and just have it stay there is fantastic.
But then again, in Australia, like, the olden homes just have the little bit of window, and there's a fly screen behind it.
Yeah, no, we just have only, it's either open or closed. There is no options.
At least in Ireland, they're decisive, you know? They know what they want.
Well, the problem is it's either raining or not raining. So you only need the window open in certain
That's all that it is to me, isn't it? In life, there's either rain or not rain. Mosquitoes, not mosquitoes. It's simple. Kamiloo. Yuck. Unending spare now for SkewMond, by the way. Level 16. So, maximum dosage. If you want to know, 30% max health, bonus health regeneration, and he ends up getting 60% in total back with that ulti. And you also increase base health is 25%. Here we go.
Yeah, he's a big old boy. And the fact you got unending despair as well means he's going to be healing off the healing. And
Caps with his shuriken flip. Flash away, Carlsen. Wait, Carlsen! I want to see it on the big movie screen, Mum! He found him! Carlsen gets a replay because, by Jove, he deserves it.
3-3 now. Carlsen managing to take down Caps in the side lane. I don't think it changes the entire outcome of the game, but he gets something.
But what nice legs. Like, that's insane. Carlsen brings some magic back. For Team Heretics, Sheo might just lose it. Drops the Stranglethorns. No one hit for it. It's zone control. SkewMond holding onto the ulti himself. Still doesn't pull it out unless he absolutely has to. Team Heretics thinking about a new angle, and I think we'll have to hold for the replay. Flakked just eat into a Rell, and Labrov doesn't find a thing.
Dragon is up and available though, and now you don't have Caps, doesn't have the TP either, so Heretics, if they can immediately start this objective, can try and take it. G2 are threatening Baron, but we just saw how slow their Baron is. I think Heretics, yeah, they're going to send Carlsen to just do Dragon and just keep G2 off the objective.
SkewMond's going to zone off, and of course he has natural health regen, so don't be fooled by that half HP. True Shot Rush doesn't hit a thing either, as Stend's caught out. Broken Blade about to go on Mega Gnar. Stend has to disengage, but Labrov, his angle is finding anyone who tries to run. Flash from Stend just won't cut it. He gets ranged out, and Labrov takes the credit. Now for G2 as they run up mid, a dive is no problem either. Broken Blade returns to the fame of the G2 legend as Carl, he'll get the dragon to stop the stacking, but it costs the 2 lives and probably the Baron.
Heretics flew too close to the sun and G2 pounds. They just wait, and now they turn over towards the Baron. Everyone on Heretics on the bottom side of the map, they want kind of nothing to do with this, and G2 will get the big purple worm.
Well, Baron in the end as well. Gold has slimmed out. I have to be genuine with Team Heretics. We have gone from almost 8K to like 5 and a bit, 6, quite a lot in this game. So they're definitely not making it easy. Is this it? Oh, this is the play. That's fine. Where's my Camille? Oh my God, I need to see. She's on Dragon. Thank you, Observer. I just want to see Carlsen kick some ass, you know?
Unfortunately, he got to do none of that. He kind of did the scaly boy in the river and then watched the rest of his team die. And I think it was like good engage from Broken Blade, kind of playing off the fact he was about to turn Mega and getting that flank from Labrov. But here's your replay.
Show me.
Go on, Hysterics.
Because Dagda, look at this, right? Hook shot, wall shot, misses, gets on the edge, caps all in. Hextech ultimatum, pulls out the ulti. Shuriken flip away. He flushes the 5-point strike. Only men of myth and legends get that. Red buff gets the kill. Holy Carl. No word to describe that better than that noise. Ladies and gentlemen, may I present Carlsen. Forever our best mic check we've had in the LEC. I just don't know. Just wasn't expecting it. I just don't know what to say.
The moment is immortalized that you have killed the GOAT of LEC for the first time in a solo outplay, and that is not going to be connected forever.
Well,
what a legend.
You know what? Even if you don't win this game, you've got that. It's an 8K gold lead in G2. They've got the Baron, no Ocean Souls. Probably nice for Team Heretics to go up against, but the range, the poke, it hurts too much. Cap's looking for an angle, and Carl looking to negate exactly that. Over from Broken Blade, he's gone into Gnar as well. The turret now dead, and inhibitor turret. Now that that's opened up, inhibitor's a freebie. Another one goes. There you go. Makes it that easy, doesn't it?
Yeah, they just got to continue this. There's very little that Heretics can really do. You do have a 3-item Camille that at least could potentially one-shot on Sama. And I think that might be what they're trying to set up here, but I just don't think he covered the rest of the fight after.
God, slow and steady does it, doesn't it? The range is abusive, and Caps, he just comes in off an angle, threatening to go all in and send it down. One Nexus turret dropping down, one sits up only barely above ground. Team Heretics, it was a noble recovery, or whatever you want to call it, a noble stance, but G2 are oppressive. Golden goes Sheo, Stend is the middle of it all, but Carlsen holds his backline. Labrov won't let him get near the Han Summer. Broken Blade once again sets up a 3-man ulti, keeps him at bay, and G2 in 33 minutes make game 1 an easy day.
G2 may have won the battle, but Carlsen won the war.
That's true. Truer words have never been spoken.